Bonjour. I'm in the Louvre Museum today. Just gonna see what this place is like. So far it looks pretty nice. It's big, there's a lot of people here. They're supposed to have lots of interesting stuff inside of it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what all is going on. I'm a little dubious, about what kind of things they have in here. It looks like it's kind of a fancy place. For those kind of people that like fancy. Do I like fancy? I mean, sometimes I like fancy. But I guess we'll just have to see what all they have in here. They've got some really famous pieces like the Mona Lisa. A lot of people don't know, but the Mona Lisa was actually found on a garbage heap in 1878 in an alley in Paris. It was just, nobody really even cared about it for a long time. So maybe I'll have some history or something on here. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, hey, Matt Ames here. I'm at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. And I'm just looking at some of these old letters that people used to write to each other back in these cuneiform. For example, this one, 16, it's, hey, I'm visiting the pyramids. It's really nice. Wish you were here. This one here, hey man, I've been traveling down the Tigris and Euphrates River for a while. I'm kind of lonely, just been sucking down some beers. Why don't you come and visit? This one here is, hey, I'm in Atlantis. The city that some people don't think existed, but the writing is a little too tiny for me to really completely read it all. It's really chicken scratchy looking, and then there's some other ones here. So this is the Code of Hammurabi statue. What a lot of people don't realize is that this was actually like a board game that was created by Hammurabi and then distributed throughout ancient Mesopotamia. It was a very popular board game at the time. He produced, I think, 10,000 or more of these and distributed them everywhere. It made him a very popular ruler because it's like the game's at the top, and then at the base you can see the rules throughout. Bonjour. This is Matthew Sheldon Ames, and I'm at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. I'm in the weird plate section of the Louvre. There's not a lot of people in this area. Bonjour, Matthew Ames here. I'm in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. I'm going to give you a quick tour of some things I'm looking at here. This must be a really boring room because there's no one in here. I think there's some really nice old furniture. This is going hot today, $99.95. We've got some really nice carved furniture over here. It's going hot. $29.95. I can get it to you for a steal for down payment. Over here I got a teapot, some combs and stuff. Nobody really seems to care much about. We'll get a deal for you. So come on down. Yeah, Matt Ames here at the Louvre, looking at some paintings. We got a biggie here. Here is the Resurrection of Christ by Thoulden. I think it's just kind of too big. It's not really not going to fit in anyone's room. It's ginormous, and as you can see, it's Christ, coming back from the dead, and everybody's like, "Hey, welcome back. Glad you could come back." So, they're all pretty happy to see him and everything. They seem a little bit surprised, but everything's okay. But really, this painting is just gigantic. It's way too big for anybody's room, even, I don't know, like a dining room or something. So, but we got some more paintings to look at here. Hi, this is Matt Ames. I'm in the Egyptian wing of the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. People love Egyptian stuff. This is a really busy wing of the museum. There are people everywhere. I'm not sure exactly why people love Egyptian stuff so much. I think it's it's kind of tacky, really. Lots of colors and lots of images, and just kind of it's kind of busy. I mean, I think people like it because of the mummies and just all the weird, crazy parts of their religion. Like they've got some kind of scarabs and some kind of other things going on here. So, but you can see that this is we've got a lot of stuff here, a lot of people here. So, hey, Matt Ames here at the Louvre in Paris. This room is pretty amazing. It's got paintings and just decorative works on every wall. Sort of reminds me of my bedroom in high school, with all the posters and stuff they used to have everywhere. Like AC/DC, and Farrah Fawcett, and Cindy McNichols and stuff. And of course, there's also just more of the loot that that France brought back from their colonial days. And just kind of put here in the museum, which I guess it was just kind of laying around out there. It wasn't like anybody was really taking care of it anyway, so they may as well have done it themselves. You know what I'm saying? Hi, this is Matt Ames. I'm at the Louvre Art Gallery in France. I'm here in front of this painting. It's Shakespeare's Mona Lisa. He painted it in, I think, 1928. People are just going nuts over it. It's kind of embarrassing, really, the way that people act when they see art like this. It's, you're wondering like, what's going on? Like, come on, you don't have to really go crazy like this. It's just a painting. Take it easy. So, but that's it. Hi, Matt Ames here. I'm at the Louvre Art Gallery show in Paris, France. Right now, I'm looking at painting by Shakespeare. It's called the Mona Lisa. Very famous painting. People are just going crazy over it. It's kind of embarrassing, really, just to see people act like this. It's a frenzy over here. I wonder if they act like they've never seen a painting before. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I might need to figure out a way to calm down or something. I don't know. I think it'd be nice if maybe the painting would talk or something. That would probably make it a better painting, really. But this is not going to happen. Hi, Matt Ames here at the Louvre Art Gallery in Paris, France. Behind me is a very famous painting by William Shakespeare. It's called the Mona Lisa. As you can see, people are just going nuts for it. There's quite a crowd. Everybody's taking selfies and whatnot. I think the painting is okay. I would give it a 7. Probably, I think one thing that would make it better is if it talked. I think that would make a really interesting painting. I mean, especially with these people here, if it just started talking to them, I think that would make it a lot better. So Matt Ames here. I'm at the Louvre Art Gallery. It's a place in Paris, France. It's a pretty nice place. I'd probably give it a 7.5. We've got a lot of different paintings here, some really big ones. They've got a pretty well arranged, lots of time frames, lots of cultures, lots of different stuff. So they got some sodas and drinks and stuff too if you want to, if you end up getting thirsty. So I'd recommend it. I'd give it a 7.5. So thumbs up. So I'm looking at this enormous painting here in the background. It's the Coronation of Napoleon. It's really gigantic. It's probably the size of, say, like a drive-in movie theater screen. And I think you can think of big paintings in a similar way, that really, they were kind of like the drive-in theaters of their time. People would come to these paintings and just kind of sit down and look at them for a couple of hours and eat a lot of crappy food and have soft drinks and stuff, and then they'd go home. So, but that changed once drive-in theaters were actually created, and people could see more interesting things than paintings like this. They could go to see The Creature from the Black Lagoon, or really quality stuff. and so that they didn't have to, paint big paintings like this anymore. So. Hi, Matt Ames here. I'm still at the Louvre Museum. Here's another big painting by David Jacques Louis. He was kind of the Steven Spielberg of his day as far as paintings go. He used to paint these big paintings. And this one's called Hey, Give Me My Swords Back. And these guys are like, okay, here are your swords. And the guy's like, oh, man, I didn't mean for you to throw them at me. And you could see in the lower right, the women are kind of sitting there and they're like, oh, I'm so glad this guy finally has his swords. Now I can shut up about his swords. So there's a lot of layers of drama going on here. Because big paintings were the big blockbusters of their times. They would take these big paintings and drive them around with a couple of donkeys from town to town, all over France. So there's another big painting by Jacques Louis. There's a lot of them in here. Hi, Matt Ames here. I'm at Sacré-Cœur in Paris, France. People are pretty nuts about this place. It's an old religious building on top of a hill in Paris. So somehow that has just kind of natural attraction for people. It's full of statues of religious figures and other religious things that, I really don't know that much about. It's got a pretty good view of Paris from here. So I'd probably give it about a 6 just because I'm not a very religious person. I don't really care about that kind of stuff too much. And I've already seen a lot of old buildings, so I'm not sure I really need to see a lot more. Hey, Matt Ames here. I'm at the Musée d'Orsay. Here's another famous painting. It's called Hey Mom, Where's My Breakfast? You can see the girl on the left is like, Mom, where's my breakfast? And of course the mother's like, hold on a second, I got a really sick baby here on my lap, just give Mom a second. And the kid on the floor there under the table is just, like spilt his Apple Jacks or something, Mom's just too busy to really notice. But then you got the dog there, on the lower right. It's like, all right, here's my time to get a snack, So there you go, another painting. So here's another famous painting. It's called Am I Just Supposed to Stand Here? And the painter was like, yeah, you're just supposed to stand there, put your hands on those books and just be really still, because this is going to take a while. And so the guy's thinking like, oh man, like I guess I can probably pull that off, and so he's got kind of a bit of a grimace on his face there, from just having to stand there for a really long time while this guy painted his painting. So that's the famous, so I'm supposed to stand here. Hey, Matt Ames here. I'm at the Pompidou Museum. A lot of people ask me, Matt, how long should I stare at a painting? Really, to get the full effect of a painting, you should look at it for at least an hour and a half. So I'm going to start with this painting behind me. This is a painting by the actress Elizabeth Taylor. She painted multiple images of herself. So if you look at a painting for about an hour and a half, it means you can really only look at, say, 2 or 3 paintings in one museum visit. So pick out 2 or 3 paintings and just hunker down. It's a little tip.